The 1990s. Where would we be without them? Guess we jumped straight from MC Hammer parachute pants into the 9/11 World Trade Center building bombings. Anyway, I don't know. Yesterday I was thinking all day about the 1990s, and that show popped in my head. Which, if you take a 30-year break from watching it, it can kind of be funny, I suppose. Um, One of the things that I was doing when I was looking at different crazy videos that reminded me of the time when I worked in the 90s. I had two occupations in the 1990s. One was a U.S. Army soldier, and the other one was security guard slash officer, whatever you want to call it. For the most part, the security I did in the 1990s was all retail, like clothing stores, shopping malls. I did a little stint for about 6 months. Did security in a factory. Not that it really matters. But it did show me a culturally diverse setting, I guess you could say. I saw all walks of life, which kind of helped me understand the different cultures, even though I hadn't traveled to see these different cultures, being in the public eye in a cultural melting pot as a shopping mall or just that type of environment. You get to see it. One of the things about Philadelphia, where I'm from, is that it has a vast amount of subcultures within a culture. There's certain things that all Philadelphians do, and then there's certain things that specific Philadelphians do, depending on not only what region of Philadelphia you're from, but then within that region, what part of that region, and then within that region, what subsection of that region. Anyway, one of the things that I remembered that was funny to me was we had a restaurant in the mall I worked at. For those familiar with the gallery at Market East, it was the Hard Shell Cafe right at the corner of 9th and Market Streets. And it was a nice place. I actually ate there a few times. I don't think they gave me a discount, but it didn't matter. Anyhow, they used to have, I think it was every Monday, all you could eat crab. So people would come in to get the all you can eat crabs. Some people came in, they might have got 2 or 3 orders and it was good. I think it was garlic crab and then regular crab. But one of the things I did notice was that the more you ordered, the less, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Seemed like the less effort they put in the presentation of it. You know, that initial plate, those crabs, it's the nice plate, and you can see like the garlic on it, and made sure it was dressed just right. I guess by that fifth order, they just got tired of feeding you crab. They had a couple of rules. There was no sharing of crabs. So, for example, if you and a friend went there and the friend ordered a regular meal and you ordered all you could eat crabs, you could not share your crab legs with anyone, or they would charge them for the same price. It was a flat rate for the all you could eat crabs. I think it was might have been $25, $30 or something to that effect. It wasn't a bad deal, to be totally honest, but they said no sharing. And sometimes, as people like to do, they like to test the waters and see if they can smuggle you a crab leg under the table so you kind of taste the crab. So when these times came up, they would tell the people, well, we saw you do it, so you're going to have to order, we're going to bill you for another order of all you can eat crab. Me, if that's the case, then bring me on all you can eat crabs too. But for some people, they weren't feeling it that way. And so when that happened and they refused to pay, they called security, which meant we had to come over there. And I don't know. Some people saw us as muscles. Some people saw us as police. Some people just saw us as, well, maybe he's just going to, see what can be done here. Hey, yeah. Glad you're listening. I'll be talking about police in a few minutes, so stick around. One of the things that they had, Dungeness crab at this place, and Dungeness crab was market price, which I don't know what the market price is. I don't follow it that closely or anything like that. Well, what the servers used to say, which was very offensive, was, it's at market prices. Can you afford that? Now, mind you, the gallery at Market East was located in Center City, Philadelphia, and it was technically very easily accessible from West Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, and South Philadelphia. Just so everybody understands, there is no such thing as East Philadelphia. If somebody tells you they're from East Philadelphia, they're lying. And the far northeast, you could drive down, the interstate to get there. But I'm just saying, for public transportation, it was right there. The gallery had a few expensive stores, but really, they didn't have a lot of those. For upscale, higher end retail stores, you would have to go to what was called Liberty Place, which was built in one of our versions of the Twin Towers. Now, mind you, this was in the 90s. It was before the Comcast building went up, which is now the tallest building in Philadelphia. All right, enough backstory. So we had to have a talk with management as to how you can explain to people that a Dungeness crab is not the same as a regular crab without offending them. So what it came down to was we just explained if they understand what market price is. And if they said no, we could explain it to them. And we said, all right, that's fine. If they don't know what market price is and they can't get mad because you're explaining what market prices are. Now, I'm saying all that to say this. A lot of people that came to the gallery went there so they could pretend to have a lot of money. They would get bags from high-end stores and then just put whatever in their bag. And I'm not even saying shoplifting. I'm not even talking about that, but they would like to walk around as if they've been shopping all day and they just made a stop in the gallery on their way to the train station. Whatever floats your boat, I don't really give to whatever's about it. However, sometimes they would go over to the Heart Shell and they would get food. Normally, we never had an issue out at a Heart Shell Cafe until nighttime, when somebody may have had a little too much to drink, got upset because they were flagged. We didn't have too often people that didn't pay their bill. That was an occasional thing. It was usually just somebody refusing to leave. And they were usually drunk. But this one particular time, and I had just been made captain, so I had my own shift and my own team and la da 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 da. Mind you, I was only making like $10.50 an hour. This was 1996, so was that a lot of money back then? I don't know. It didn't matter. I bought my house making less than that, so. Anywho, I go over there and we see this girl, and she is irate. Not drunk, not mental, none of that, just irate. And I tell the officer with me, see if you can calm her down. I'll talk to the manager and find out what's going on. So the manager, his name was Ken. And, working there, I had worked there for 3 years at that point doing security. So we knew each other, and I said, what's going on? So he's explaining, and the server was there too, that, she ordered a Dungeness crab. they explained, like, do you know what market prices are? No, do you understand what market prices are? And she said, the woman snapped at her, yeah, I understand what market prices are. I'm not stupid. How do you think I ordered it? So because the prices changed and it went up and down, without warning, that was the one thing in the menu that did not already have, the price listed on it. The menus, I think, were laminated or they were pre-made. So everything had a price except Dungeness crabs. It said in their market prices. She said she understood. So they gave her Dungeness crab. And when she got her bill, that's when it was clear she didn't understand. Because that crab by itself, mind you, she was with her friend, and I guess she was showing off in front of her friend, and they ordered more than that, and maybe a drink or two, I'm not sure, but that crab by itself, now this is 1996, that crab was $67. A $67 crab. I've had all you can eat crabs and I've never gotten full off of all you can eat crabs, which was like $40. She ordered one crab for $67. You know she's going to be hungry in another 25, 30 minutes anyway. But she's flipping out. And normally they might be flexible. We don't want to embarrass you. We don't want to get that kind of reputation for our establishment. But her attitude got them so angry that they were willing to press charges, which meant this woman was going to go to jail for a $67 Dungeness crab. So I asked them to stand back. I walk over to the other officer that's talking to the woman. Mind you, she might have been, I'll say at the most 26, but I'm thinking more like 24 years old. And as she's talking, and she just kept saying, it's not the money, it's the principle. Who buys a $67 crab? And I'm thinking, you just did, because you didn't understand what market prices were. So as I'm looking at her, I want to lock her up too at this point, but I look at her face and I see she's scared to death. It is the money, it's not the principle. And you could see it. And she's going on and on and on, and she's acting like she's going to be a martyr over a $67 crab. And she didn't give us attitude, but she was upset with the management and the server. So I went back over to Ken and I said, listen, can you just knock $20 off this price? And we tell her, never come back. We'll give her a trespass. And he said, yeah, sure. I don't want to see her anymore. And I don't really feel like being bothered with it. So as she's still screaming about the principal, I walk over to her and I say, he'll take $20 off if you leave and never come back. Immediately. Okay. And I thought, that was a little too easy. What happened to your principles? And there wasn't even a matter of immediately calming down. I mean, there wasn't a thing where, you have to think about it for a second and weigh the pros and cons of if it's worth it or not. And do I really need to fight? There was none of that, which it was all about, you can't afford this crab, which, matter of fact, now that I think about it, she didn't know how to say Dungeness, which, I mean, it's not a word you see every day unless you work in that industry, but it was just, the people, they were pretentious, but they didn't even understand how to be pretentious. There is no sense of pride in looking like you have money. There's no sense of pride in looking like you're intelligent. Looks are deceiving, and you're going off of a deception. You need people to think this because you don't want them to know the truth. And quite honestly, I never had a problem telling a girl I was dating I can't afford that. It was better to just find out if they were shallow or not, up front, instead of, breaking the bank and missing a rent payment, or back then you couldn't afford to pay your pager bill. I miss pagers. Pagers were awesome. See, unlike a cell phone, you didn't sleep with your pager. You could leave it somewhere. They were usually black. So yeah, I didn't have a pager on me, or I couldn't get to a phone. So you don't have those excuses with these smartphones anymore. Your smartphone lives with you. You sleep with it. You wake up in the middle of the night, and the first thing you look for is your cell phone. But pagers, that was the cheese. You could see the number, and I don't have to call it back. You gave your friends specific code numbers to put, so in case they weren't at their house, they put their code in at the end of the number, and you knew who it was. And you can't do that anymore. See, the caller ID came in the 90s as well, and so did cell phones, affordable cell phones. So hold on. Anybody want to buy some fish? He's right outside. Anyway, I was watching this video yesterday, and this particular clip right here. Oh yeah, yeah, the 911. Yeah, you can't forget that 911. Shoo, man, because then you knew it was something going on. I gotta say this about 911. You ever have that friend that was just so self-centered that they would put 911 in just to guarantee you called them back and they didn't even want anything? That was the one drawback about the 911 at the end of a page. Because you're like, uh-oh, something's going on, what's going on? And then you click on it and you call them back, and you may not be around the phone. You may have to find the pay phone, you know, and what are you gonna do? Then you call them and, "Oh, I didn't want nothing. I just wanted to make sure you called me back." I had a number of friends that did that. One of the things that when I first got made captain of security, the operations manager who promoted me, he told me something and I followed him to the letter. If anything out of the ordinary kicks off, bring me a pizza. If anything kicked off, page him. So I did. And, like I said, I didn't know I had PTSD until 2006. So that whole anxiety thing, I didn't realize that's what it was. But I forgot what it was that had happened. But I needed to make sure he found out before the general manager found out. So I paged him. And I didn't know where he was. And then I paged him again. And I didn't know where he was. And I paged him again. And he was actually on the turnpike on his way home. He got off the turnpike, to find out what was going on. And when I told him, he wasn't angry. He was laughing about it, to be totally honest. Because, look, I did what you told me to do. But it was funny. I used to see when they say blow up somebody's phone, you could blow up somebody's pager back in the 1990s. I remember I had a friend that he was terrible at returning pages. So what I used to do was just, especially if I was in my apartment and I was bored, I'd just blow his cell phone, his pager up. I just call him nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. One time I paged him so many times that as he was talking to me, there were still pages from me paging him coming through his phone. And so you can't have that kind of fun anymore. One of the other things I used to do when I was a kid, you'd have like two people that had three-way calling, and we'd all be on the phone, and then we both dial two phone numbers at the same time and then join those calls. And then we'd have people like saying hello, and the other person, hello, like, yeah, who is this? Who is this? You called me. No, you called me. And we'd have people arguing with each other over the phone. The caller ID knocked all of that out the box. I mean, it knocked all of that out the box. Anyway, this video clip I found, It's from the channel Stranger Stories. I'll put that in the description later, but it's from Stranger Stories, which does show some stranger stories. I mean, it lives up to its, channel name. This particular incident, it was in Atlanta, and it was a park in Atlanta that had recently had a lot of violence going on. I think a couple of homicides, and so they enacted a curfew in this park. The two people you're about to see were not from Atlanta, or they weren't from the Atlanta area, and they weren't aware of the curfew. So the police officer tells the gentleman, "Listen, I got to issue you a citation, and if you don't take the citation, I got to lock you up." And he tells the woman the same thing. The guy, this gentleman that you see here, he takes the citation. Worst case scenario, I'm not from here. It's a citation. It's no points on my license or whatever. Or you appeal it, you go to court, you explain, "Hey, I'm not from here. We just got here. It was me and my girlfriend. We cooperated, we don't want any trouble, but can this be taken away?" 10 times out of 10, they would have dismissed the case. Yeah, it's unfortunate you got to go to court or whatever, and you may have to miss time from work or whatever. Yeah, I get that. And that's a pain in the neck. But this woman decides that, I don't even know how to put it. I'll let you say what I'm talking about.
And what's your name?
Officer Brooks.
What's your first name?
I'm not going to give you my first name.
Okay. And I don't have to sign this, right?
You do have to sign it.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, like I explained to him, if you don't sign.
Now, look at the attitude. If I had a nickel for every time I came across, and I'm not going to say a person, every time I came across a woman who felt like the laws didn't apply to them, I'd be a billionaire. He tells her exactly what he told the gentleman, which I assume is her boyfriend. And looking at how tight his clothes is, I'm going to assume he's nothing close to being a fighter, because you can't fight in those super tight clothes. But that's just me. I'm old now. Okay, so she decides she's going to play street lawyer, I guess, or I don't know, like being a community activist and a fighter for civil rights. You got to know to pick and choose your battles. This particular woman right here was just looking for a reason to be, for lack of a better terms, bitchy.
Sign it, then you're going to be physically taken to jail.
Gotcha.
Okay, now he just told her if you don't sign the citation, he's going to physically take her to jail. And she says, "Got you." So clearly, you have a choice. Not a great option. If you don't sign it, you're going to jail.
So you refusing to sign?
What's your name?
Officer Brooks, 7452.
What's the
Now, see, what is she doing on her phone? You're sitting there with this phone. You're not video recording him because the angle's not there. You're just scrolling up, acting like, you're connected, or he's going to regret ever saying anything to me. I don't see. This is what I mean when people want to look like more than what they are. And her boyfriend, I mean, he doesn't look. I'm gonna bite my tongue on that.
badge number?
I gave it to you 2 times, man.
Okay, I'm asking again.
And I'm not giving it to you again.
Okay.
Are you going to sign it?
No, because I want your badge number.
That's fine.
Okay, so he gave her the badge number twice, gave her his name twice. Why are you on the phone and asking for this before you're ready to document it? And now she's saying no because she asked for his badge number, which he gave her. See, now she's stuck. And smart people, when they're in this situation, are going to just bend the knee. You're not going to win this one. He's not backing down. He's dead serious. Stupid people double down on stupid. It's like you can easily get off this road, but that stupid, stubborn person is going to stay on it, and they're not going to get off for any reason.
You want to put your hands behind your back for me?
No, she got.
Hey, listen, my man. She said she's not signing it.
No,
Put your hands behind your back.
Sir,
Ma'am?
you're hurting me.
Okay.
Okay. She's already got the dramatic I'm a victim vernacular in place. He grabbed her by the forearm and she's saying, "You're hurting me." Barely touched her. And this Shlomo over here, the boyfriend, see, if you look at her phone, she's looking at pictures. I don't think that's him. It can't be him because of the angle of the phone. Or maybe that's a car. I can't really say. I'm not going to sit here and speculate too heavily on it. But now all of a sudden she's saying that it's real. Okay, now she's saying that it's real. Okay, stupid. You should have saw it in the first place. Like, the man has the authority to lock you up. He's explained to you the reason that he's talking to you. He's explaining the consequences for you being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's giving you the option, and you should basically say, okay, like the dude said, just give me, all right, I'll take the ticket. I'll deal with it later. And then you be on your way. This moron, because she's a woman, doesn't think the rules apply to her. If she were a guy, she would have been like him. They might have been trying to talk to the cop. Oh, come on. You really got to give me the citation? Really? That's what a guy would have done if he was going to protest. This whole wannabe sovereign citizen jazz where she... Okay, here we go.
I'm asking you to put your hands behind your back.
Sir?
Put your hands behind your back. Start me over here.
Sir?
Ma'am, put your hand behind your back.
Come on.
I need you to back up.
I'm just saying, like,
I need you to back up.
You don't need to touch her like that. She's.
Okay, so now the boyfriend who's still hoping he can get laid later after a situation, now he's being Prince Valiant. Well, I'm saying no. Now, you ain't saying nothing, okay? If you were to say something, you should have been saying it to her. You should have told her to be quiet, just sign the paper, and let's go. But now you want to talk up. So we know who has the testosterone in this relationship, and it's not him. Definitely not him. Yeah. He did call back up because guess what? She's going to make a scene. And she's going to make a scene. And like women do, these types of women, not all women, don't get me wrong, but this type of woman right here is going to make it emotional and try to make it about her. Like, this is a narcissistic attitude right now, because all she's going to do now is not acknowledge anything. She's going to start complaining about how she's being treated.
She's not putting her hands behind her back.
I'm asking a question. I'm just, all I'm doing is
Put your
asking
hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your
Mr.
back. You're
Brooks.
under arrest. Put your hands behind your back.
Okay, so first of all, it's not Mr. Brooks. It's Officer Brooks. Or they're in Georgia, so it could be Deputy Brooks. Don't call him Mr. Brooks, but I think she got so rattled that she can't even, she's like out of it, so to speak. But you can see the fear in her face now. She knows it's real now. Oh, it continues. Here's a part though, like, watch her face.
I asked you to sign the ticket. You told me you're not signing it.
Sir,
Put your hands
I'm
behind your back.
asking you a question.
Okay? I'm letting you know. I'm not going to ask you again. I'm going to forcibly put your hands behind your back.
But, sir, Mr. Brooks, is this really necessary?
See, was her behavior really necessary? Did she have to? Yeah, I got you. Nah, I ain't signing it. What's your name? What's your badge number? Okay. See, that's a two-way street. Now, technically, no, there's no technically. Like he warned them, this is what's going to happen. Now, mind you, if there's a curfew in place, this is late at night. I mean, I don't know if he's got a 4 to 12 shift and the curfew started at 10 o'clock, but I can hear in his voice, he's a tired man. Like he's tired. And we don't know how many other people he might have dealt with that were giving him attitude. We don't know what kind of day he had before his shift started. See, this is why I like these police body cams because only a dirty cop would hate a body camera. Like this is showing exactly the attitude of this woman. He never raised his voice. He didn't even make threats. He gave them the option: sign or go to jail. Sign or go to jail. If you felt you didn't like his demeanor, if you sign it, get your citation, then you can go to court and report him, or you can get your citation and call internal affairs the next day and file a police complaint. If she really believed that she was doing the right thing, which is clear now that all of a sudden she's like, is this really necessary? She's not standing on that principle anymore. She's willing to jump off that principle as if somebody knocked $20 off a Dungeness crab.
Mr. Brooks,
Hold on.
Hey, listen, my
She
man.
needs to
Back
put.
up.
She needs to put her. Let her
Can I-
put her phone. Let her
Okay, you
put
can
her
put your phone down.
okay,
Let her put-
Mr.
she's not
Brooks.
giving her attention.
The officer asked Geis,
So the officer asked guys to comply multiple times, but she refuses. Yada 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 yada. So
I'm going to sign the ticket.
see, now she's going to sign
I'm
a
going to
ticket.
sign the ticket.
No, I'm not here to play games with you.
I know, but I'm going to sign.
Put your hands behind your
I'm
back.
going, Mr. Brooks, I'm going to sign
Put
the
your hands
ticket.
behind your back.
Why am I
You're actively resisting.
See, she had the opportunity to, for about 5 minutes, had the opportunity to sign the citation. Now that you understand he's not playing games, which a police officer should never play games anyway, but you were playing games. Now I'll sign it. I'll sign it. I'll sign it. Shut up.
I'm asking you, why am I putting my hands behind my back?
You're under arrest.
I'm going to sign the ticket, but why am I under arrest? Why am I under arrest? I'm going to sign the ticket. I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks.
That's all it is.
I'm going to sign the ticket.
I asked you to sign the ticket. You told me you were not signing
I'm
it.
going to sign the ticket now, Mr. Brooks.
See, I'm going to sign the ticket now. See, this is a control freak. This is one of those types of people that even if they do the right thing, they want to make it seem like they're doing the right thing because they want to, not because they have to. And this noodle boyfriend, I can't stress the term noodle enough because he's got no spine whatsoever. He's not saying anything to her. Okay? He's not saying anything to her. If he had a half an ounce of brain, he would have told her to knock it off before any of this happened. And she definitely earned resisting arrest now, and she deserves it too. But she continues the drama.
You don't have that option now.
Geis changed.
Yeah, see, she changes her mind, but the officer has decided that he will arrest her anyway. Now, see, this is where I didn't agree with Stranger Stories because they felt like he could have just stopped it at that point.
And I gave you two options.
She was asking for your back number.
I'm
at
asking
first.
for your.
But I disagree. Like at this point, if you are going to take it there, I'm going to take it there with you. It didn't have to go there. It totally did not have to go there. But she ran there. And now that he's right there with her and like, no, you have to go all the way now. She wants to turn back. Like, no, there's no turning back. This is what you wanted. This is what you're getting.
Badge number, and I wasn't clear on why you weren't giving me your badge number.
Sir, you do not have to hold her like that.
Oh my God, sir, Mr. Brooks, I'm telling you that I'm going to sign the
Put your
ticket.
hands behind your back.
I'm going to sign the ticket, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to sign the ticket. Why am I being arrested? Can you please tell me why I'm being arrested?
Okay, so how many times has he told her? And look at it. If he was really manhandling her, she still wouldn't have her phone in her hand, which she clearly, still has in her hand. And his cameras on his body like he's just trying to restrain her. He explained it to her. See, this is what I mean. Like a lot, yeah, I'm gonna say it. A lot of women cannot separate logic from emotion, and they act on emotion instead of acting on logic. Now, fear has got her trying to change course now. But here's how I look at this. If he allowed her to sign it at that point, she would have filed a complaint against him. And she would have had that noodle boyfriend say that he was aggressive and he was rough. And then he would have had to go through all the details of them reviewing the body care. Like, I think at that point, when she refused to sign and he said you're under, he had to go through with it. I just see, like, you have to go through with it. You can't turn back now. I don't think, even if he wanted to, he couldn't. That's just my opinion. I don't know what the laws are in Georgia, but I'm just thinking, she took it there. Now, if you take it there, guess what?
Oh my God! I'm so scared. My God, please, in the name of Jesus, please, God.
Oh, now
Why
you're
am I being
calling
arrested, Mr.
Jesus.
Brooks? I'm going to sign a ticket.
Ah, you're calling Jesus now.
Mr. Brooks, why am I being arrested?
Okay, look at this guy's clothes. I'm not fashion police, but his clothes just represent his presence. Just blah, blah. I mean, you got on some pullover sweater that's too tight for you. I mean, look, I got a stomach now too. It's okay. And your pants, like I don't. They turn into skinny pants or something. And I'm not knocking his fashion, but I'm just saying it kind of represents his presence in this situation. It doesn't stand out. It almost like it's non-existent. Oh, I like how I said that.
Why am I being arrested? I don't understand why I'm being arrested. Can you please tell me why I'm being arrested?
Hey, her do-rag came off in case you didn't notice. All right. Now, something I didn't speak to, but I'm going to speak to right now. He's explained to her what the consequences were. Because remember that clip where he said, listen, if you don't sign it, you're going to be under arrest. And she's like, got you. So you understood it. You acknowledged that you understood what he was saying to you. Now, because you changed your mind, he's supposed to change his mind.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Tell me why I'm being arrested. I have the right. I have the right to know. Oh my God!
Put your hands behind your back and stop resisting. Stop resisting.
What are you taking her for?
I didn't take it.
Why are you pulling it out?
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
So now here come the fake waterworks. Here comes the whining, and I'm a poor little innocent woman, and I'm being brutalized by this big bad police officer, which in reality, that was not her demeanor when she approached him. She was aggressive. She was hostile. She was belligerent and refusing to comply. Yeah, he brought the taser out, yeah, but I think it was more in case that noodle guy was refusing, like, because the guy, even though, I mean, I don't think he didn't do anything, but I think in case he was distracted dealing with her before backup arrived and the guy tried to do something, I think it was more for him. I don't necessarily think it was for her.
Come on, sir, this is unnecessary.
Oh, this is unnecessary. Oh, this is unnecessary. And listen to her, the fake tears, the fake her.
Just put your hands behind your.
Okay, he's manhandled her so bad that she still has her cell phone in her hand. So clearly, he wasn't muscling her. He wasn't using unnecessary force. She still got her cell phone. So basically, this whole situation has become even further escalated because of her.
I don't understand why I'm I'm being arrested. That's why I'm not putting my hands behind my back. You have not given me a reason.
physically
So why am I
resisting.
getting? I'm not. You didn't haven't told me my rights or told me why I'm being arrested. That's exactly why I'm not putting my hands behind my back, God. Please. Oh my God!
Man, give me your hands.
See, part of me thinks she's screaming now because she just looked up and saw the clothes her boyfriend's wearing and realizes how ugly they are. But that's just me.
I need you to back up, sir.
Sir, I'm not backing up.
You got every right you could, but you need to back up.
Oh my God! I don't understand why I'm not being arrested. I don't understand.
All right, honey. That's all I could take with that. Oh my God, yeah, she gave me a royal headache for sure. And oh, good grief. She did get arrested and she got charged. Like I said, that video is on Stranger Crimes, and she hired a civil rights attorney saying that he violated her civil rights, which, you know, she could try to use it for a lawsuit, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere because she claims she had asthma and she couldn't breathe, but then she immediately calmed down and asked, like, where's my phone? And then she starts telling her boyfriend to call her mom. And then, like, she starts praying for Mr. Brooks in the back of the police car. That's just narcissism at its finest. And even in that situation, she tried to make everything about her. I say that's been the bulk of my relationships in life, dating women like that. Well, I was never that noodle guy. Don't get me wrong, because no, him, that must have been the best looking woman he's ever had in his life, or I don't know, like he, he might be a mama's boy. I don't know what, but that guy, like, if anybody should be more embarrassed about that being caught on the film, it should be him. And that's what I'm going to say to that, because he looked real stupid. This next video. See, as we're talking about the 1990s and technology, here's where technology, somebody didn't understand how technology works. This girl takes her phone in for repairs to get it fixed, and she tries to skip out on the guy, but watch what he does.
Yeah.
She's going to cash app him. All right. 1, 2.
Door blocked. Think I'm stupid? Come on. Open it. It's locked. Give me the phone.
Why would you do that? Like, seriously, why would you, do that? Like, nobody understands technology anymore. Like, yeah, it's not that easy. I'm sure looking at her hair, this just looks like some place in North Jersey somewhere, like Bayonne or Newark or Irvington, if you will. So he's probably put in as many security measures as he possibly can. Now, instead of calling the police, this girl calls her mom.
Sent over here so they can shoot up the store.
Now what the f is going on?
She tried to run out of the store.
Okay.
And I told her, give me the phone, I'll take the screen off, and we can be done with this. But she wasn't having it.
How much?
So the option he gives this individual is, if you can't pay, I'm going to take the old screen and the new screen off, put the old screen back on, and you get out of my store. Now, she calls her mom because I guess mom's going to defend her.
The phone call.
The screen is $125.
You only charged me $75 for mine, and I can tell.
She has an XR.
I got an 11.
Or 11.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You didn't charge my other kids or my other kids that much, so why is this?
So mom, apparently in the black, took her iPhone 10 in to get fixed and he charged her $75. Girl in the gray sweatshirt, Flojo, has an iPhone 11. So I guess the screen's different or whatever, or it's a newer version, so the parts are more expensive. So this is what he's explaining to her.
The screen for the 1200 is $200.
You didn't charge me when you fixed my phone. They didn't charge me that.
You must have got insurance or something.
No, y'all fixed it your insurance. What do you mean? She must have got insurance. I got insurance too. Right. So why you didn't go to the insurance? I don't know.
All she has to do is give me the phone back and I can take the screen off and we're done.
You just go there. You just go around the corner and get it fixed. Come on, let's go. This is the phone. Mom, what's the phone? I'm about to get it fixed. This is the phone. I'm about to take the screen off.
So, mom was a little upset. Mom came in there to argue a case, but mom caught on pretty fast that the daughter was lying, and the daughter is still trying to pretend that there's some technicality where she didn't do anything wrong. But that just ain't cutting it. No. See, as much as I hate the whole concept of Big Brother and the whole concept of, always being watched when you go out the house, I gotta admit, in these situations, it does make more sense, that you have that because it protects you. And in this day and age, that's kind of very, 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 very important, to say the least. But this made me think of that woman that refuses to sign a citation.
Hold on, let me get my glasses on so I can see it. What is that? Oh, it's a bitch!
Yeah, that's what she reminded me of. So, anyway, I'm ready to get out of here. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Whoever catches this on the replay crew or whatever. I do have a phone call for Irish Jazz's brother. So if you guys talk to Irish Jazz, tell her I got a video clip of her brother getting a phone call from America. And the reason I know it's her brother is because he pretty much sounds exactly like Irish Jazz, except in a man's voice. And when I say sounds exactly like Irish Jazz, I'm talking about how he talks with profanity. So, anywho. Love you guys. Hit the like button if you don't mind. I'm still working on a video. That one's about a runaway tank in San Diego, so that's kind of pretty crazy. And that should be up maybe by tomorrow. Not sure. Hope everybody has a good night. Stay positive. Stay away from crazy Canadians and the things of that nature. Make sure if you're a hoarder and you have mold in your kitchen, that you call for help, because you definitely would need some help with that. And I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.